Voice of the Children resumes with speeches from the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School. We have Noah Daika and Meli Ratu who will deliver to us 2 speeches in English. So, ladies first, Noah.
Talofa, my people, my beautiful country, Tuvalu. My topic today, the effects of climate change. At the end of creation of this planet Earth, everything was totally perfect and good. Then God put man in charge of all things upon the earth. But today we can see and hear news of all kinds of natural disasters, such as cyclones, hurricanes, floods, landslides, and tsunamis were happening in big countries and also in small island states like Tuvalu. We can ask ourselves this question: why all these things are happening in our world today? I believe everyone present here today has an answer to this question. But the best answer I can give is that climate change is the main cause of all kinds of natural disasters that are happening around the globe today. Climate change were caused by the presence of huge carbon dioxide that comes out from factories, burning fossils, automotives, and others. The emission of more and more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere thus cause the greenhouse layer to become thinner and thinner, and as a result, more heat reaches the surface of the earth. As the earth becomes hotter, thus cause the ice at north and south poles to melt, and this is where the issue of sea rise becoming a major concern, and it presently rests in the hands of the government of Tuvalu. Tuvalu is my beautiful country, and my paradise is now in a very dangerous position due to the impact of climate change. So it is wise for us Tuvaluans to stand for our rights, to urge the leaders of industrial countries to put a limit to the emission of carbon dioxide gas from the production of goods. In doing this, we can slow down the impact of climate change to sea rise crisis that may put my country Tuvalu under the water in the next 50 years or more. Do we blame God for this particular crisis of climate change? The answer is not God, because He created everything good and perfect in the beginning. But the works of man that impose the problems into the entire creation, and this is where the issue of climate change has affected our lives today. Therefore, if you love your life and lives of all made beings, it is my humble petition for all nations to make change now. Truly, we cannot recover what we have already damaged into God's creation. But our only hope is to limit our emission of carbon dioxide gas down to 0%. This is the only preventive measure we can do to reduce carbon dioxide gas production and emission in order to retain protection of greenhouse layer. Finally, I believe God has a plan for the planet Earth, and the people He placed in inherit the earth while facing the result of our work into creation. Despite all things happening into our lives today, we have to put our trust in God, because He will take care and protect you and me from the impacts of climate change. Kaketailasi Tuvalu Motatua.
Aloha and hello to all my fellow human beings. My friends, I come before you today, sad and horrified. Many of us know through the efforts such as this about global climate change. We have all heard about the dangers that our generations and generations after us will have to face. Yet, we have done nothing. We, the generation that will have to fight against the consequences of past actions, have done nothing about global climate change. To clear up any misunderstandings, I'm not talking about global warming, a term that is used often by the media to make us, the media watchers, believe that the entire world is melting. What is actually occurring is global climate change, which means that the climate is going into the extremes or to the opposites. An example of this is the unpredictable change in our weather pattern. Our home, the earth, is crumbling brick by brick, and we are doing nothing to put it back together. Many of you must find it unfair that we must pay for the mistakes that the past generations have made in our own future. But we must face up to this reality. We must act, and act now. To wait any longer would be madness. As we endanger ourselves more and more every day, we wait for others to act for us. Climate change is real. Not only is it real, it's here, and its effects are giving rise to a frighteningly new global event, the man-made natural disaster. Many of you are now looking at me and are probably thinking, so what does this have to do with me? I'm just a primary school student. I can't change anything. But we can have a lot of power if we are united in cleaning up our own backyard. Let's begin in our own Jerusalem. Many of you probably leave most of the lights on in your house, even when you are not in the room, which wastes a lot of energy, as well as leaving electronics and chargers plugged when they are not being used. Taking public transportation instead of using motorbike, if necessary, produces less carbon dioxide per person. We need to replant trees so that they can absorb some of the carbon dioxide. Using solar panels is a good idea, even though the entire price is expensive. In the long run, electricity becomes basically free. We must all take part in the campaign against global climate change. For if we wait for the governments to decide the course of action, we shall be waiting until 2020. We should decide as a community, as a school, and as a part of the future to act. We must do what we need to be done to reduce future damages that our past and present has caused. It is hard to believe that all the responsibility has been placed upon our shoulders. But we must learn as a race that we cannot take what we have for granted. We take much and give back so little. We must open our eyes rather than continue with blindness for lack of knowledge and see the work that must be done to have a better future. We as students must carefully impact others, but also our duty as a member of the human race to make sure that our children and our children's children live happier lives through our efforts to fight against global climate change.
That was a lovely speech. Thank you very much.